Okay, so officially welcome back to our wind down yoga. I'm glad you could be here. It's nice. I'm in my new location. Well, not my new location, but my like every other week location at my parents' house. So today we're gonna minimally move our bodies, but kind of the idea behind today is just accepting reality as it is. It's kind of this like radical acceptance, and we'll just practice it a little bit. Certainly, I am no professional in radical acceptance of the reality that is currently, oh, I forgot to light my little funky candle that I found. Just pretend that that's lit and mysterious in the background. But yeah, so it's just something that if you're practicing yoga, maybe you're starting to add meditation into your practice. And of course, you can get more or less spiritual as you did, if you want to go kind of the Buddhist route, or, just depending on what kind of appeals to you about this practice. And more increasingly, I'm trying to add just a little more meditation, a little bit more mindfulness to the movement. Not just breathing, but breathing with intention and awareness in its very broad terms. And so for today, it's just going to be a little bit of movement with mindfulness and the idea of acceptance and acceptance not being the same as approval. And we'll just kind of explore that concept. We'll end today with a progressive muscle relaxation meditation, which I did today and like almost passed out. We did it like a work meeting and I was like, well, I'm done with working for today. So hopefully it'll leave you relaxed and a little more soothed. So without further ado, pillow ready. We're actually going to start standing, which is a little different from usual. You can kind of see me. I don't yet have the dimensions perfectly worked out. Oh, I'm going to hit play on my device. There we go. I'm going to start just shaking out one leg and the other. And then as we shake, maybe we can spend a little more time on that standing leg and essentially get a little balance going on. I'm going to just adjust my thing because my head is chopped off and distracting me. Hopefully that's a little better. And then just continue to shake one leg and the other, getting a little balance. And then we'll slowly just reduce the shaking of the leg and just balance. And then we start bringing in the breath. So taking a deep inhale as you shift over. And then when you exhale, flow to the other side. It's kind of a silly, just rocking, but just combining movement with breath, adding that balance. And just syncing it up with your inhales and your exhales. Good, and then slowly bringing our feet both down underneath our hips. Yoga on a carpet is not the best. Good, so feet under hips. Let's just find our alignment. This bump is annoying me. So head over heart, over pelvis, and while we're standing, if you are standing, you can do this in a chair, hip points over ankles. Inhale to roll the shoulders back. And then close your eyes. We're just going to come into a relaxed mountain pose. So just relax into it, energizing through your feet. Just begin to bring breath into your body very deliberately. Just inhale strong and let it out deliberately. Strong inhale. And then exhale through your nose or your mouth. Just really bringing these energized, power-packed breaths in. And then sending them out. One more just like that. Good, and maybe we flutter open our eyelid and we just start kind of shimmying our shoulders. A little back and forth, woo. A little Chicago action, shimmy it back and forth. And even though I am talking, hopefully you are still bringing some mindful breaths in. And notice this twisting of your shoulders, maybe this subtle twisting in your spine. Notice how that affects your breathing. And you're just noticing. Maybe it gets a little choppy. Good, and then try to smooth out some of those bumps. What little adjustments do you have to make? Maybe you have to slow down the movements or even slow down the breath so that the breath comes in a little smoother. Eyes can close, they can be open. We're playing around here with when there's energy around us, energy inside us, movement and motion. How can we smooth out the breath? How can we become aware and smooth out the breath? And then we can bring our shoulders to stillness. Eyes can be open or closed, however you're comfortable. And now we're going to just gently shift our rib cage from right to left. Gentle bend in the knees so they don't get stiff. I have a kind of a smooth jazz playlist happening. The cat is just dominating this yoga class. It kind of works with the smooth jazz playing in the ear, a gentle rock back and forth, almost like a dancing kind of motion. You can close your eyes, lower your eyelids, whatever you're comfortable with. And again, breathe in deliberately and notice just the quality of the breath. Good, not letting our bodies get stiff. We're constantly moving. Good, and then for our final, just breathing focused exercise, find a place of stillness. Eyes can close if they aren't already. And then I invite you to just slow down the breath as much as you can while still feeling, that you're breathing in a relatively natural way. And just pay attention to the slowness and notice if by slowing down the breath, you can kind of more intimately know it. Just take your time, feel into the breath as it slowly comes in, very slowly leaves your body. Try this for a minute. Good. Continue to breathe in this way. You are aligned, head over heart, over pelvis, over ankles. And then start to expand that awareness. What else do you notice? Maybe you notice your heart beating kind of in the background. Or a tingliness in your fingers as they just hang with gravity. Just broaden that awareness. Just observe. What do you notice as you breathe slowly and intimately? Excellent. Take one more deliberately slow down breath. Upon your exhale, let your breath just drop in as it's naturally wanting to do. And we can flicker open our eyes again, finding all of the activity within our still bodies. Excellent. And just to come down, before we come down, we're going to separate our feet a little wider than our hips. Toes pointing forward. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back. We're just going to inhale to get tall through our spine. And then exhale, bow forward. Go as far as you like. Knees have a slight bend. And as you bend your knees, you might notice your hamstrings igniting a little bit. Hands can float above your back, or they can just rest down. Palms can come to touching, or they can stay open. And then for the last, like cherry on top, relax that neck down. Just release it. Feel it's kind of slipping away from the tightness in your shoulders. Good. You can nod your head yes, shake your head no. And if you'd like, you can bring small movements into one leg and then the other. Just feeling into this stretch. And then again, bringing your awareness to what you feel, what you notice, and inviting it all to the party. Even stuff that's like a little uncomfortable, maybe tight, it's here. It's coming, it's knocking on the door. It wants to be here for some reason. So we're gonna say yes, welcome, come on in. We're gonna bend our knees and begin to just lift our spine up. Excellent, you're gonna turn one foot, doesn't matter, to the front of your mat. Other foot's gonna turn and then lower onto one knee, untuck those toes. Bring the other knee back and just come down to a seated position. I'm gonna inch a little closer, hopefully enhancing the audio because I'm just gonna be sitting. So for here, for this position, this is our pillow. We're gonna take a moment and actually, we often relax our necks down in front. We really try to stretch out the backs of our necks. Here we're gonna stretch out the front. So to begin, we've done this once before. We're gonna drop our heads back and we're gonna try to send our jaw up to the ceiling, our bottom jaw up. And you might notice a stretch immediately down the front of your neck. So just drop your neck back as far back as you're comfortable and send that jaw up and continue to breathe. Relax your shoulders. Excellent, and come on back. If that's something that you don't often do, you might notice on the exhale, you really feel that stretch a little more. Now we're gonna do so in a more restorative way. We're gonna take our pillow, set it behind our neck, and just hold on to two ends, like a little backpack. Imagine there's like a puppy in it or something. And you're just gonna drop your head back. I'm gonna go slightly sideways. You can adjust the pillow if you want it lower or higher. You're just gonna drop your head back and literally create a pillow for your neck. Doing your best to relax your shoulders. Try not to carry tension with that pillow. Once you find a place where you can actually just genuinely rest on the pillow, you can play around with sending your heart slightly back in space. And that will kind of gently activate the core muscles to help you remain stable and sitting. So heart up, head back. And if you'd like to play around with just gently leaning backwards, go for it. We're gonna stay like this for a few moments. So just find a place that you can sustain. Eyes can be closed or open. Really try to relax into the pillow. Your head is at no danger of kind of falling too far back. Your neck muscles aren't tense with holding up your head. Good. Just accepting what comes. Maybe you're having a lot of thoughts right now. Maybe you're experiencing some sensations. And just knowing that acceptance is not the same thing as approval. And maybe we say that again. Acceptance is not approval. So as we accept that good feelings may come in with a stretch, good feelings may come, we also accept that good feelings go. We accept when discomfort comes in, tenseness comes in, insecurity. We also accept that those are also temporary. We just accept the ebb and flow. And we're aware that that doesn't mean we approve of what is going on. We don't approve of the cause of these feelings necessarily, but we accept them as real. We accept them as welcome because they are part of our lived direct experience. All right, and then very carefully, you're just gonna lift your neck. And just take a moment, you can remove the pillow. You might even gently wish to drop your chin. Just rest your hands in your lap, eyes closed. And find a position of grounding as the blood kind of rushes back down. Kind of ride that flow, ride that current into the earth. Excellent. If you'd like, you can blink your eyes open. We're gonna move into our half pigeon. So for this, if you'd like a pillow, you can have a pillow, you can have two pillows, a pillow and a blanket. I'm gonna put the pillow underneath. I'm gonna start with my right leg in front. So to get started, let's just have our knees out in front of us. And you're just gonna set your left leg off to the side and gently place your right knee down onto the ground. Your left leg, you're just gonna kind of swing it behind you, like a chair, of course. And if you'd like a support, you can support yourself with your knees here and slide a pillow right underneath that tush. And then begin to stretch out that back leg, rotating so that you are balanced either on the top of that left foot, or you can tuck the left toes under. So tucked or just balanced. Right leg is just bent at whatever angle it's bent at. You can also slide a small pillow or a blanket under your back knee for some support. You're gonna inhale to get tall here. And then exhale, you can stay. You can begin to go into your forearms. If you have a block or pillow you just wanna kind of sink into right here. Find whatever level you'd like to go to. And knowing that you don't have to stay, that it's just a temporary position, and you can go further, you can let up, and then the choice is yours. Relaxing that neck as much as you feel comfortable doing so. And with these hip openers like half pigeon, so many of the stretches we like to start class with, you might very quickly feel some sensation, notice something, and maybe the sensations lead to some emotions like, oh, I'm tight, I'm frustrated, or I notice some tension there, maybe some emotions of fear related to, maybe it was an injury that caused the tension. And just the ways we react to our bodies, the ways we actually respond to what we feel and how it impacts our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. Our bodies have a lot of information when we just kind of slow down and tune in a little. And this is a good opportunity. So let's tune in a little bit inside. So eyes can be open or closed, however you feel most focused and calm. Just where do you feel anything in your body? Maybe it's a little bit of like a zinging feeling over your skin, a little humming, or a clamminess in your fingers or toes. Or maybe it is that right hip just, really trying to sing. I almost imagine when my hips are tight, I imagine our husky dog, we have a husky, and when he like sings, it's like, oh, that's like what I imagine is happening. So just notice, take a few moments in relative quiet. Just notice what you feel, how long it lasts. Just make a note. We accept it all, even if we don't approve of it all. One more deep breath here. And on your exhale, begin to use your hands to set your body up. And then we're just gonna kind of flop over to the right side, setting those hips off the pillow. Use your hand to guide your left leg back in front and just shake them out. Give them a little bit of little massage, a little energy. We're gonna do the same on the other side. So we're gonna start with our knees out. We're just gonna set your right foot off to the side for now. Gently lay the outside edge of your left foot down. You're just gonna swing your right foot behind you wherever or however far it goes. Using your hands or your legs to prop up, stuffing a nice little pillow under there. And now with some support, we can begin to guide that right foot further behind us and rotate so that the top of our thigh, our shin in the top of our foot is along the ground. Or you can tuck those toes. So from a different angle. Toes tucked or not. Same thing. Inhale here. Squaring those hips. And then exhale. Just ease into wherever you're going, knowing that you can go further. You can take a couple steps back at any stage in the process. Notice any differences here? And the beauty of accepting the now, it helps us to keep kind of our unconscious, sort of subconscious reactivity at bay. And it can help improve, you know, relationships with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us, with situations, because we are constantly being stimulated, maybe even overstimulated by information, news, pop-ups, this trend, this, you know, the list is endless. How to respond best to different circumstances, how to be the best we can be. And if we're constantly reacting, just our emotions just registering something, and we just kind of react at all different directions, we're just sort of inflamed. We're just like this inflamed unconscious mind that's snapping at people maybe, or interrupting others, or getting so overwhelmed that we feel that we can't even fully process. This may not be your experience, but it certainly may be the experience of many of us. So just by saying like, yes, okay, I feel this, I know this is now, we can let that part of us take a breath, take a break, and then like a ninja, we can make our mark when it's ready, when we're ready, when we've been able to focus deeply on what we want to do. Excellent. Begin to use your hands to prop up your body. Give a little stretch at the top, and then send your hips off to the left. You can use your right hand to guide your right leg back to the front and shake it out. Well done. So now we're going to slowly move into our progressive muscle relaxation. I'm going to stay seated, just so I'm not like sort of talking through like, oh, relax your mouth, and I'm like, you know, it'll just help me kind of guide the meditation a little bit easier. I'm going to come a little closer for audio purposes. Again, I can't see you, so just relax. And for this, please use your pillow to support your head, support your lower back. Maybe you even want to slip a pillow under your knees. Just take a couple seconds and get what you need just to feel comfortable. We're going to lie on our backs, or you can sit tall on a cushion or a chair. Just take a few moments. And as you do, maybe you think of ways that even in this practice alone, you've said yes to a lot of things that maybe you often don't want to say yes to. Maybe it's a frustration over some tightness in your body. Maybe it's recurring thoughts that you've just been trying to not think about, and they just kind of make their way in when you're trying to relax. And we say yes. And recognize that the goal of meditation, one of the goals, is not to mindfully will away the world. Rather, it's to get to a place where we can so clearly see the world, see ourselves, that when we want to make our mark, it's with mindful deliberateness, with as much clarity as we can muster, without this reactivity sucking our energies in all directions, you know, fracturing the walls we built around us, you know, good ones and the bad ones. So just recognize that meditation is not to say it's to welcome it all and say, it's cool, now what? Easier said than done, certainly. So hopefully by now you have a couple cushions, you're settling in, maybe making a couple little wiggles, just to really feel into that earth, the earth below you, the earth below your floor. The earth, you know, it's, as we close our eyes, something to, maybe an image to start us off. I was reading this wonderful article today that one of my siblings gave me about a particular type of bird. I think it's called swift. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. And they have these miraculous flight patterns. They actually don't really land. They will fly for years and sleep while they fly and get really low to get their food, but continue to fly. And the author was really comforted by the exploration of these birds and just like the mystery around why they fly so high at dusk and dawn, and what are they looking for and how do they do it, and just wonderful, wonderful birds. Again, I think they're called the swift, but I will edit that if I'm wrong. And I didn't even notice. And so the writer was talking about times when she couldn't sleep and would sit in bed and think of how many layers below the earth goes. You know, all of, you know, there's like the grassy layers, and it gets into like the soils and the rocks and then the magma and then this like molten core. And like all of this below us that doesn't even care about human activity, that is just so powerfully marching on. And then also the levels above us, like the stratosphere, the atmosphere, and all the actual scientific spheres that are above us, and just the layers. You can almost imagine the blue sky turning into like a dusk sky as maybe some stars trickle in, and then you're like out of the planet. And so we're sort of perfectly nestled right in the middle, this blanket of atmosphere above us, and this stable, rocky, and molten rocky base below us, supporting us, irrelevant to us, which is a little bit freeing. So without further ado, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, close your eyes or lower your gaze where your eyelids feel at ease. Continue to breathe deeply. And together we're going to move down your body. We're going to tense up different parts of our body and then just release the tension deliberately. Kind of manifesting both the tension and the release that often lives in us at all times at the same time. So to begin, let's just start with one more deep breath in. Let that out. We're going to start with our eyebrows. We're going to lift our eyebrows really high up. Lift them away from your eyelids, eyebrows, up, up, up. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then just let them fall back down towards your eyes. The animals are scurrying if you hear jingling collars. Good. Next, we're going to bring a large smile to our face, but really almost like, I know my audience here, you took the LCSW exam and you passed on the first try. Excellent job. That was the example used in my social work meeting today. It's a big grin, cheesy, toothy grin. Feel the lips stretching towards your ears. Hold it for 2, 1, release it. And then take a deep breath in. And then let it out. Excellent. Next, we're going to move down to our shoulders. We're going to shrug our shoulders up, up past our neck as if you're moving your shoulders towards your ears. Hold that for 5. And then release. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. We're moving down towards our shoulder blades. We're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together as if you have a paintbrush right in between your shoulder blades. You're going to kind of lift your heart off the floor. Hold that for about 5 seconds. 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Excellent. We're going to make fists with both our hands. Squeeze your fists, the tightest fists you can make. Tense fists, not straining. We don't want to hurt any part of our bodies, but give it some force. And then just relax those hands. Feel that release, that spring back. Take a deep breath in. And let it out. Traveling back up the arms, we're going to flex our biceps. Just going to extend those arms out and then make like a muscle with those arms. Like it's kind of like you're the Rock showing off his muscles. Just flex those biceps, squeeze them in. 3, 2, 1, and just let the arms kind of flop back down. Deep breath. Deep release. Now we're going to move to our triceps and just to stretch the triceps. You're just going to straighten your arms out, flexing at the wrists, and just straighten those elbows. Hold that 3, 2, 1, and release. Inviting in a deep breath. And letting it leave. Excellent. Now we're going to tighten our booties. Tighten our tiny little booties. Just tighten them up. Hold it for 5. And release. Take a deep breath. And release. Well done. As we travel down the legs, we're going to stretch the backs of the legs by simply flexing the toes up to the sky. So just flex those toes, feeling the back muscles engage. Hold that for a couple moments. And release. Take a deep breath in. Invite that to the party. And when the breath wants to leave, let the breath leave. Then bring some awareness to the front leg muscles. And for that, you're just going to kind of angle your toes, point your toes down to the ground, and feel that stretch starting in the thighs, all the way down to your toes. Hold that for 3, 2, 1, release. Just let it ooze back in, being open and just as wide and open as they can be. Deep breath here. And release. And then we're just going to curl our toes. Sometimes we don't even notice the tension in our toes. Just curl those toes up like you're making little fists with your toes. And release. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then imagining a wave of relaxing energy passing from the crown of your head over your face, spreading out down your neck and your shoulders, down your arms to your fingers. And that wave continues to pass past your torso, over your belly, down your legs, and ending completely at your toes. Just be here, saying yes to the full experience, however it is. Take a deep breath and release. On your next breath, you can bring awareness back to the space you're physically in. And I invite you to just stay as long as time permits. Otherwise, you can begin to flicker open your eyes and just engage the sense of sight. And just look at everything with a new perspective. You're not the same as you were before you closed your eyes, even in tiny ways. And we can realize this by noticing our body. A little shoulder ache, is that still even there? Even chronic pain, has it changed in texture? Maybe a little bit, and if not, it's okay. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm wishing you relaxing vibes for the rest of, hopefully, like life, but at least for the rest of the evening. I offer namaste if that's how you choose to conclude your class today. And I hope to see you again soon. I'm extending the fundraiser to GLSEN. It's a program, it's a series of programs throughout the country, and there's a Philly chapter that supports safe education and access to schooling for gender nonconforming youth, and for essentially youth regardless of sexual orientation. So if gender nonconforming doesn't even fit what the person's experience is, doesn't matter. We're gonna find you some resources to get you safe education. So I'm just expanding that kind of donations, optional, and I wish everyone the best, the best, the best. All right, take care, everyone.